Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a really fascinating, somewhat technical concept from the Felix Fattori Sovereign Purpose Systems philosophy, and we're going to translate it straight into your everyday life, your work, and your faith. We are looking at a powerful toolkit for thriving in our modern age, and it's called Algorithmic Agape. If you have ever felt like your natural desire to just love and serve others leaves you vulnerable or totally drained, well, this is absolutely for you. To kick things off, I think we really need to validate a shared experience that so many of us are having right now. Honestly, the world often feels like this massive desert of extraction, where people are just treated as mere tools or, worse, data points. As women who naturally want to nurture and support those around us, stepping out into a culture that views every single interaction as a transaction can be incredibly exhausting. We want to love and serve freely, but we just constantly run into systems and people who are looking to take advantage. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll be going through the transactional modern world, the fourfold engine framework, the power of algorithmic agape, engaging agape safely, the dignity audit, and we'll wrap up with building harbors for good. Okay, let's jump right into section 1, the transactional modern world. The root of this exhaustion we're all feeling really comes down to two totally different types of relationships. We are inherently designed by God for what's called I-thou relationships. These are true partnerships of mutual respect, trust, and grace, where we actually see the other person as a human being worthy of love. But the modern world frequently forces us into I-it relationships, where people view you strictly as a means to an end. It's totally transactional and it's highly extractive.
Moving right along to section 2, the fourfold engine framework. The reality is, you just cannot run a high-stakes life on only one operating system. Think of these first 3 engines as your psychological tools. You've got the Stoic spine for endurance when things get really tough. You have Buddhist equanimity for releasing control over outcomes that you literally can't change. And then you have the Machiavellian lens. And don't worry, this isn't about being evil. It's simply about having a realistic, clear-eyed view of power so you can set strong boundaries. But here's the key. All 3 of these exist specifically to protect the 4th and highest engine, the Christian architect. Which brings us to section 3, the power of algorithmic agape.
Let's break this definition down, because it sounds a little dense at first. As women with a missionary heart, you already know agape as the unconditional, self-giving love of Christ, right? You know how to serve. But algorithmic agape pairs that beautiful, selfless service with really smart structural boundaries. It means you proactively initiate value and love without expecting an immediate invoice to be paid in return. But, and this is a big but, you do it systematically, ensuring you aren't taken advantage of. It's how you go about building high-trust networks. Let's look at a real-world example to make this concrete. There was a female consultancy founder who decided to operate her business using this exact principle. Every single time she met a new client, she initiated value upfront by giving away a high-value diagnostic report absolutely free of charge. She offered her expertise with completely open hands, not demanding an ironclad contract first. Now, her competitors thought she was out of her mind. They couldn't understand why she was leaving money on the table. But within 18 months, those exact same clients became her most fiercely loyal network and her absolute biggest referral engine. This proves that serving others genuinely isn't just a nice thing to do on a Sunday. It is a strategic superpower. By stepping out in agape, she built this incredible community of loyalty that a purely transactional, I-it business operator simply cannot replicate or defeat. Let's move into section 4, engaging agape safely. Look, having a giving heart absolutely does not mean you have to be a doormat. To protect your agape, you use what the philosophy calls the tit-for-tat protocol. I know it sounds super technical, but it's essentially just the biblical wisdom of being wise as serpents and innocent as doves. First, you are nice. You initiate value and grace first. Second, you are provocable, meaning the very moment someone tries to extract from you, you firmly enforce a boundary. Third, you're forgiving. When they repair the relationship, you offer grace again. And finally, you are clear. People always know exactly where they stand with you. Consider this scenario from the source text. A female small business owner had a supplier who was really going through a tough time and struggling. Instead of squeezing him for every dime or just completely abandoning him, she leaned into agape. She invested her time and even gave him a small cash advance with no contract. She played the nice card first. Fast forward 2 years, and that same supplier brought her 3 new clients and became her most reliable partner.
She recognized him as a true I-thou partner, and she deployed grace. But, and here is where the protocol saves you, if he had taken that money and run, proving to be an I-it threat, her framework would have instantly triggered a firm boundary, completely cutting off his access to her resources. This protocol lets you know exactly when to engage your agape and when you absolutely need to pull back. Now we're at section 5, the dignity audit. Protecting yourself is super important, for sure. But we also have to make sure we don't accidentally become the very thing we are trying to protect ourselves against. To avoid becoming manipulative or callous, you have to regularly stop and ask yourself this one critical question. Did I purchase victory today with someone else's dignity? The moment we treat another human being as merely a stepping stone for our own success, we cross a hard, non-negotiable red line. So how do you check yourself? You can guarantee you're treating people with respect by running these 3 quick checks. The lying promise check asks, did I make a promise I really didn't intend to keep? The manufactured consent check asks, did I manipulate or strong-arm someone into agreeing with me? And the instrumental harm check asks, did I damage someone's reputation or peace of mind just to achieve my own goal? A yes to any of these is a direct violation of your own integrity. There is a really sobering story in the text about a seasoned operator who decided to compromise human dignity for some short-term wins. He treated people like chess pieces just to close 3 major deals. But because he completely destroyed trust in the process, those same people quietly shut down every single future opportunity he ever tried to create. He gained the world in the short term, but suffered a total and complete trust collapse. Now, we are all human and we all make mistakes. If you ever do cross that line and treat someone as an it, you immediately run this specific status and apology ritual. First, you take 100% responsibility. No excuses, no justifications. Second, you restore that thou bond by genuinely apologizing and treating them with respect again. And third, you audit your own heart to figure out exactly why you slipped into that behavior, ensuring it doesn't happen again. It is such a beautiful, highly structured approach to repentance and reconciliation. And finally, section 6, building harbors for good. So how do we actually build a lasting legacy that positively impacts the world around us? The philosophy encourages small, daily rituals of resilience. We've already talked about the apology ritual, but there are also shared identity rituals, which fuse people together around a common, meaningful mission. And then there's my personal favorite, the merit dedication. At the end of every single day, you explicitly dedicate any success you had back to your high-trust community. It completely decouples your self-worth from worldly results and securely anchors it in your ability to love and serve others. By pairing the boundless grace of agape with the clear-eyed realism of strong boundaries, you truly step into the role of architect for a safe, thriving community. You aren't just barely surviving the exhaustion of the modern world anymore, you are proactively engineering a space of deep mutual trust. As the text so beautifully concludes, build the harbors, then live inside them. You now know exactly how to protect your missionary heart while still fiercely and generously serving the world through algorithmic agape. So think about it. What will be the very first boundary you set tomorrow to protect the love you give? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Go out there and keep building those harbors.